Ungrateful people are people that the Stoics warned us against. They create stress in our lives and damage our ability to stay stoic in life. That's why in this video we will go over 10 things for you to do in order to deal with ungrateful people like the ancient Stoics once said. We've just launched our new Stoic newsletter called The Stoic Lifestyle. If you want to join this newsletter, go to the pinned comment in the comments section and click on the link. Also, if you are new here, please hit the subscribe button if you want to watch more life-changing Stoic content. Thank you all for watching and enjoy. Number 1. Don't take it personally. Oftentimes, chronic ingratitude stems from the other person's own inner issues, troubles, or deep-rooted insecurities rather than anything you actually did wrong to deserve ungrateful attitude. Don't make their reactions about your self-worth. Before feeling offended by someone's lack of gratitude, pause to reflect compassionately on what hurts, anxiety, or personality disorders may be driving them to see kindness as transactional or weak rather than transformative. Their bitterness likely arises from old pain still unreconciled, not your sincere efforts to uplift. Don't let projections trigger you. Of course, protect your peace by establishing reasonable boundaries if certain individuals habitually exploit, use, or attack you despite continued generosity. You cannot fix dysfunctions in others unwilling to take ownership or get support. But view the inability to receive grace as their current limitation more than your value. Pull back without self-judgment. Focus on comporting yourself with integrity through being dependable, keeping promises, and avoiding feeding cycles of reactionary drama. Showing up as the type of ethical person you wish to attract tends to draw that out from the world over time more than trying to convince the unwilling. Plant seeds faithfully, even in stony ground. Some may still sprout miraculously. As Marcus Aurelius wrote, "Kindness is invincible, provided it's sincere, not ironic or an act." What can even the most vicious person do if you keep treating everybody with kindness and gently set the world right? Lead with sincere care and wisdom first, but let go attachment to convert. Number 2. Set boundaries. If friends or family persistently take your help for granted without gratitude or respect, carefully evaluate whether to scale back one-sided giving. Create margins guarding your inner reserves and attention to pour into more equitable, uplifting relations first. Shelter what sustains you. Of course, have compassion realizing dynamics like trauma, disorders, or unhealthy relationships may condition ingratitude, scorekeeping, or distrust of unconditional kindness. Their walls may require years gently dissolving before appreciating your perpetual benevolence. Not all take needed journeys, but reasonably desist rather than secretly resent enabling those embracing victimhood, attacking you when unsatisfied, or ignoring the soulful toll of constant taking. Retain power by naming relational needs frankly, while creating space should they go unheard by those you cannot force to listen until willingness stirs. Stand peacefully in truth and love. The worthy will recognize your integrity. As Aurelius wrote, reaction reveals character. Our responses amidst ingratitude reflect inward divinity, but others' reactions cannot steal the composure and goodwill treasured within once forged by self-command. From this calm integrity, determine all relations' appropriate terms mindfully. None bound you but through agreeing against wisdom's counsel whispering purely. Hear it. Then resolve steadfast through stormy ingratitude, eroding edges still firm at center. They reside always. Number 3. Stand up for yourself. Addressing ungrateful people includes judiciously standing up for yourself by communicating feelings and asking clarifying questions, provided confrontation seems reasonably safe and appropriate after carefully considering contexts and personalities. Speak plainly while avoiding escalation. If suppressed resentments grow from chronic one-sidedness, you listening, assisting, and encouraging without care in return, gently describe hurtful examples lacking appreciation. Explain how the imbalance makes you feel used rather than cherished as equal friends should. Then ask sincerely if any underlying troubles explain this, opening dialogue rather than attacking. Of course, carefully broach sensitive topics like perceived ingratitude that may trigger defensiveness without assuming positive intents beneath the surface. Feel out appropriate timing and wording. Preface conversations affirming mutual care and friendship positives first. Then objectively describe issues with fresh examples ready if they rebut allegations confusedly. Clarify needs compassionately. The goal is illuminating reality for consciousness raising versus shaming with grievances that corner them. Suggest counseling to build communication tools if wanting to preserve connections without requiring skill, handling graceful pushback already. Judge not anyone's limitations given supports and wisdom still unfolding for all, but bid truth surface so equity and reconciliation may achieve where better efforts fail on both sides, oblivious to subtle obstacles undermining. Bring to light gently. As Aurelius wrote, let go of base attachments, resentments, fears, and self-serving themes when they seize you. We cannot instantly force receptive presence, but can lovingly request it. Then model desired ideals persistently despite fears of unmet needs threatening abandonment. If they care sincerely, truth unites. If not, walk on unburdened, lighten load. The worthy await wandering questers. Number 4. Focus on good people. Consciously shift life orbits toward uplifting people who validate and reveal your best self. Reflect on which friends or family consistently demonstrate gratitude by asking about your welfare, listening caringly when needing to process, reliably showing up to help, etc. Discern relational health, avoiding potential people-pleasing tendencies, masking dysfunction. Who offers equity without tallying debts? Begin redistributing attention more toward those ready for deeper intimacy and care without fixation on fixing, converting, or blaming those slower overcoming obstacles to authentic vulnerability. Protect your light from vampirism, but keep the door open so progress meets encouragement. Of course, have compassion for inner blocks still awaiting healing in some guarded personalities. But you cannot transform the unwilling regardless of efforts spent attempting to motivate those avoiding responsibility for their own change. Let go of false burdens. They must walk their own walks. Focus on behaving honorably and communicating transparently first. Then reasonably practice self-care by flowing away from unhealthy dynamics, worsening you into healthier ecosystems instead. Expand in better climates. Contract elsewhere. Thus, the world incrementally warms through small withdrawals of heat, where hearts still hesitate ignition. Number 5. Be grateful yourself. Intentionally express more thanks for the appreciation and support already flooding your life from kind sources. Avoid magnifying isolated ingratitude, eclipsing your view of greater goodness still present. Reflect daily on who already uplifts your path with encouragement, listening ears in difficulty, or gives time and treasure freely to causes you care about out of sheer benevolence. Reorient from scarcity to radical abundance of human care, surrounding once you broaden your gaze beyond narrow, painful places, lingering despite profound movement witnessed already through patience and vision, casting light ultimately prevailing. Catalog the compassion found in beloved mentors and friends feeling proud of your growth, thoughtful gestures from unexpected origins, kind strangers expressing solidarity, even contrarians mirroring opportunities to become less judgmental and more generous through hardship. The whole world often conspires supporting once we release assumptions of opposition. No matter the particular painful dynamic still awaiting shift from less aware parties, put in context beside vast evidence of simultaneous progress, if you intentionally shift frame of reference assessing balance. Emphasize brightness already here to nourish visionary patience and fortified resolve, seeing lengthier roads ahead to nourish tender shoots until forests grow. Do not curse the darkness warring the candlelit. Become a steadfast beacon, welcoming light home like a lighthouse, knowing true north still as the needle while ill winds flail. And recall that gratitude and ingratitude alike reflect inner projections more than outer qualities illuminated. Darkness shifts density once recognized inwardly first. Thus cultivate thankfulness, even for trials testing you, and forgiveness eventually set free, enlarging your capacity to transform pain into wisdom, refining progress. The gold emerges purified by flame. bless the refiner's fire. Number 6. Do kind acts anonymously. Conduct good deeds, extend generosity, and meet needs without egoistic expectation of public credit, recognition, or profuse thanks in return. Allow selfless giving its own rewards. Discover profound satisfaction from small, anonymous gestures performed secretly. Slipping inspiring books onto friends' desks during difficult seasons, anonymously paying orders for strangers behind you, sending mystery gift baskets, dropping handwritten neighborly compliments. Of course, when leadership and initiatives demand full identity ownership, avoid hiding behind false humility while feeding reputational hunger through indirect publicity still achieved. Intention matters most, but when possible, allow service in humility so recipients receive unencumbered by perceived debts, subtly pressuring reciprocation. There is something sacred about anonymous giving that bypasses worldly chains of ongoing transactional expectation, weighing subtle psychic tolls despite unspoken impositions. Though notoriety tempts ego with pride and prestige, medicinal freedom flows inner rivers given outlets sacrificing acclaim. Seek higher rewards in amplified integrity, knowing that despite no one else applauding in large generosity unconditioned, your core still recognizes basic rightness resonating this wise direction. Follow the inward North Star. Judge all choices finally by this inner compass through obscuring mists eroding external landmarks. True north abides. And over time, as virtue accumulates, centering soul increasingly on selfless contribution versus validation, notice how unexpected synchronicities generate visibility and abundance almost miraculously anyway. For something powerful magnetizes those risking reputation through irreproachable demonstration of higher ideals, still wishing copies over applause necessarily. Model the impossible first alone, then doors open welcomingly. Number 7. Consider their perspective. Rather than reflexively writing self-absorbed personalities off as hopeless lost causes, curiously dig deeper. Could anxiety wrongly interpret loving acts as patronizing pity, robbing dignity's esteem as independent still fiercely guarded if also isolating? Might invisible illness or identity crises silently overwhelm bandwidth outwardly while drowning inner screams? What past betrayals by formative bonds once trusted, whispered misguided lies that generous displays host hidden agendas manipulating eventually? Of course, refrain from endlessly diagnosing or enabling dangerous detachment from any self-responsibility, empowering needed change undertaken by selves. None find liberation by avoiding truthful mirrors. Evolution ultimately requires wresting wisdom from through courage, undergoing transitions beyond comfortable. But offer benefit of doubt first where possible. Lend vision to their potential not visible behind barricading walls built rejecting further wounding, inevitably cycling from jagged perceptions warping relationships into self-fulfilling abandonment prophecies initially most feared. Have compassion for their complex psychic knot before judging coldly without full context behind guarding veils. Perhaps this season simply proves overwhelming for positivity, or trust with old wounds reopened unexpectedly. Seasonal depression striking recurrently this month annually. Might fresh hardship trigger survival reflexes from past traumas, once requiring heightened skepticism now outdated when applied to your genuine care. Number 8. Let go of resentment. Carefully examine reflexive upset when your continued sacrifice goes unacknowledged by beneficiaries, especially relatives. Notice the temptation to host silent blame-shifting monologues conveniently explaining away unmet needs for respect. Catch resentment before it takes root. Starve early grievance ruminations feeding entitlement drives. Work on accepting personal ownership over any emotions granted disempowering influence internally over inner peace simply by clinging with expecting they must first change. In waiting for them to bend reality or offer satiating apologies before you proceed empowered, plants still grow toward light redirecting every hour despite temporarily dimmed brightness. The skies will bring reliably. Let go of false conditions imposed on happiness. Indeed, happiness access often proves unconditional, requiring solely reception and appreciation of the omnipresent, only obscured by demanding vision heal first before agreeing sight feels restored. which arises first within, the seer or the scenery. Restore perception first. All appears transformed instantly once believed based on the light now glowing within. Reframe challenges as teachers, for through rushed reactions judging their emotional impediments inhibiting caring expression, compassion practice calls. Long wisdom traditions implore vigilant insight cultivation into the multidimensional complexities seeding behaviors versus surface grasp revealing. Implicate yourselves by asking, what false perceptions must we still release to enlarge capacity embracing inconsistencies of others non-judgmentally? Where they lost way momentarily, gently lead back without accusation, but by living example instead. Anger dissipates as we embody ever more gracious qualities wished reflected. Radiate light. Darkness disperses periphery. Number 9. Model gratitude. Lead others by consistent example giving thanks, seizing opportunities, extending generosity wherever possible, and living as one profoundly moved by the gift of shared existence, despite inevitable pains, punctuating the road unexpectedly at times. Become the change forwarding first. Before lamenting surrounding ingratitude, inventory just a single day's abundant grace visible through the lens of abundance. Loving smiles, holding doors for strangers, welcoming beds awaiting tired bodies, food nourishly offered continuing existence. Sunrise's reliable return despite hardly considering the mystery of its arrival. Each new dawn delivers. Catalog blessings overflowing once awareness expands to provisions already present, awaiting reception. Preempt assumptions of isolation by initiating connection. When loneliness creeps, courageously reach out first, seeing friendship awaiting, and we mend distance. Be first expressing affection where cold relations soften eventually by persistent warmth, cannot resist thawing over time as spring predictably arrives. And praise accomplishments significant to another, but overlooked by preoccupied majority. Who truly sees hearts beyond transient identities found wanting by comparing judgments? Notice beauty awaiting applause. For impulse isolating cannot be extinguished directly by mental force alone. Darkness gradually brightens, attracting small light steadily fed, despite defeatist voices scoffing no rooms ever lit, except by dawn's bold entrance reliant. Ignite small flames and feed diligently. Impossible forests have been forged from such consistent, humble sparks, tended beyond concern for guaranteed results. Show up daily without exception or fanfare. Consistency ultimately transforms. And if critics still insist on no evidence of change apparent when all appears mightily resisting, recall vision beholding not fickle forms, but life itself already complete, assured within destiny's flow, despite infinite days still struggling, surrendering night to ascendant sunrises downstream where history progresses. Faith withstands anchored on timeless shores, while wavering skeptics swept out standing only sand, forgetting even solid stone upheld during carving floods, while gently yielding plants return. Yield to universal truths aligning indestructible soul forces, consecrating assured victory through pure partnership beyond wildest dreams sustained. Number 10. Set boundaries. The final key Stoic principle for dealing with the chronically ungrateful involves firmly yet compassionately setting healthy boundaries around how much time, emotional energy, and practical support you reasonably provide. If certain friends or family members persist in taking your financial assistance, time spent listening and advising, or emotional encouragement for granted without gratitude or respect, carefully evaluate whether to scale back such one-sided giving. Create margins to guard your inner reserves and attention, to pour into more equitable, uplifting relations first. Shelter what sustains you. Of course, have compassion, realizing dynamics like childhood trauma, mood disorders, or modeling from past unhealthy relationships may condition reflexes toward ingratitude, scorekeeping, or distrusting kindness displayed without overt strings attached. Their walls may require years gently dissolving through perpetual sunbeams of unconditional giving, by example before flowers bloom, if ever. Not all take needed journeys, but reasonably desist rather than growing secretly resentful through enabling those embracing victim stories deflecting responsibility for growth, attacking your person when unsatisfied with support styles, or ignoring the toll their constant taking exerts soulfully. Retain power by naming relational needs frankly, while creating space should they go unheard by those you cannot force to listen until willingness stirs. Stand peacefully in truth and love. The worthy will recognize integrity rooted firmly from this ground. Prioritizing protecting your own peace enables maintaining equanimity and pouring into more fruitful connections without burning out or nurturing bitterness. Set boundaries with compassion. We all encounter ungrateful people from time to time, those who fail to appreciate acts of kindness or support. It's frustrating when our good intentions go unacknowledged or unthanked. Stoicism, the ancient Greek and Roman philosophy founded by Zeno, offers perspective and practices for maintaining equanimity even when facing ingratitude, especially from those demonstrating entitlement or lack of appreciation repeatedly over months and years. If you are listening to this, thank you for staying till the end. If you feel any of these Stoic lessons resonated with you today, feel free to start a Stoic discussion in the comments. I welcome Stoic discussions as they are what the great Stoics like Marcus Aurelius and Seneca advised for. If you enjoyed the video, don't forget to like, and if you want more content like this, subscribe and hit the bell. Thank you for watching, and as always, I hope you find peace and serenity in the Stoic ways.